The cup finalists that year were Leeds United and Liverpool, and an epic struggle it proved to be. Both clubs were rising fast after years of underachieving. Liverpool led by the irrepressible Bill Shankly, Leeds by the hugely professional Don Revie, soon to be recognised as two of football's outstanding managers. They demanded the best.
8 minutes of extra time gone. So we've got 7 minutes of this first period of extra time, followed by 15 minutes of the second period, making 22 minutes in which Leeds have got to pull back this goal scored after 3 minutes of extra time by Roger Hunt for Liverpool. Liverpool leading by a 1-0, and here they come again. Thompson, outside left. "You'll never walk alone," sing the crowd to our right. This great Liverpool war cry as Tom Smith finds Hunt, the scorer of the goal. Hunt forging his way forward towards the Leeds penalty area again, now dribbling away from it, trying to find another way through, and gives the ball to Callaghan instead. Perhaps Callaghan can do something with it on the edge of the box there, bringing it over onto his left foot, slipping it back again to Smith. Smith clipping it into the box there to St John, finding the head of St John, but Charlton heading away, but only to St John again. A first-time shot well wide, well wide, nearer the corner flag than the goal. Well, it's going to need a side of great dig themselves out of this this quite desperate situation, because Leeds are weary and footsore, and now surely utterly down, with Storey virtually a passenger, now limping over on the far touchline. And really it's going to need a monumental effort if they're to pull this one back now. They're losing by a 1-0. Yates in possession down by the corner flag, finding Thompson with a neat little piece of defensive play there. Thompson inside to Strong. Strong across the field to Callaghan. What a great match this will be for Strong, coming in virtually at the last moment to find himself not only with a cup final appearance but with a cup winners medal as well, in place of poor Gordon Milne. Callaghan over on the far touchline now, closely watched by Bell, but he sneaks it past Bell to try to get Hunt away, but Giles a little too quick for him, pushing it forward to Peacock. Peacock to Collins. Collins, you must do something now. Finding Storey limping over on the far side. All Storey can do is stab it back to Johnny Giles. Giles to Peacock. Peacock now to Hunter. Leeds looking a little more promising. Hunter clipping one in. Charlton going well up there. And there's a chance for Bremner. First time shot. A goal! And what a great goal that was by little Bremner. Charlton having gone right into the attack, clipping one across to him. Bremner hitting it first time past Lawrence. The play in progress again, and now it's Yorkshire's turn to find their voices. Here comes Collins. The match is not lost yet. Here go Leeds again with Bremner streaking through, but it's headed away by Jerry Byrne to Smith for Liverpool. 1-1. Leeds 1, Liverpool 1, and now, my friends, we see the other side of the coin, because it's Don Revie's turn to cheer from the touchline. Bill Shankly's turn to look disappointed. But here come Liverpool again, through St John, through to Hunt. Hunt trying to get his shot in, but the ball moving too quickly away from him, and all he can do is poke it into the side netting. 1-1. Goal kick quickly taken by Gary Sprague to Johansson. What a great effort by Leeds. When I thought they were down and I thought they were out, they came back, and this is the sort of thing they've been doing the whole season, confounding the critics at every twist and turn.
5.5, nearly 6 minutes gone of the second period of extra time. 1 goal each. Hunt for Liverpool, Bremner for Leeds. Goal kick by Sprague. Headed on by Peacock. Headed back again upfield for Liverpool by Ron Yeats. Stevenson, Hunt. Hunt to wing up Peter Thompson. Thompson along the turf here at Wembley to Smith. Smith to Callaghan. And now it's Liverpool moving smoothly into the attack. If Callaghan can turn it, he darts it ahead. It's a goal! St John. Six and a half minutes gone of the second period of extra time, and Liverpool lead by 2-1. A well-taken goal by St John after a very fine move by most of the Liverpool forwards. A very smooth move along the lush turf here at Wembley, and so Liverpool lead by 2-1.
And that was it, a mighty collision, and Liverpool's cup for the first time. Shankly and Reevy were to clash again many times in the next decade. Tough men in one of the toughest leagues in the world. But other managers left their mark on the period as well, among them Ron Greenwood of West Ham, for whom football was as much an art as a science. And their quality paid off. In the 1965 Cup moved smoothly through to the final, and their opponents were Munich 1860 of West Germany. The stage, Wembley Stadium.
West Ham in possession again now. Ken Brown slinging one long way through the middle there to Deere. Deere to Hurst. Hurst with Burkitt racing up outside him. Slings it forward for Burkitt. Burkitt beats the fullback. Will he have time to get it across right-footed? He will, but it was low and cleared quite easily and competently by Munich. Munich coming away again. I thought, if anything, Munich looking slightly the more resilient side in this second half, though goodness knows West Ham have had their chances as well. Boyce now. Back to Jack Burkitt. Forward to Jeff Hurst now for West Ham, the centre forward. Hurst looking for a man, decides to sling one over left-footed, but he finds Boehner. He didn't mean to do that, but the ball bounces off Boehner, fortunately, to Grosser, his inside left, who is tricking West Ham players left, right and centre now, and then slings a good pass there for... Oh, but the left half missed it, and it's Boyce coming through for West Ham. A chance here for Seeley inside the box. Can he get in a shot? It's a goal! A goal for West Ham! So West Ham are a goal ahead through Seeley. 24 minutes of the second half. A mistake by the German left half, Lutrop, gave Seeley his chance, and from a narrow angle he fairly belted the ball into the Munich net. West Ham 1, Munich 0. Now Munich really have got to do something. Haynes there, outside right in possession now, well tackled by Burkitt to Sissons, who's come back, but Sissons is tackled in turn by Haynes, and the ball goes into touch. Just as I said, I thought Munich were looking the more resilient. This is West Ham, the big occasion team, and away they go again through Deere. Can Deere get to it first? He takes it past the goalkeeper, but he's pulled down. Free kick to West Ham just outside the Munich penalty area then. And so this match boils over again. Bedenkovic pulling down Deere as he raced through outside the box. And a free kick to West Ham. Some of the most cunning free kick takers, these West Ham boys. I wonder what they've got up their sleeves now. West Ham, that brilliant goal ahead by Alan Seeley, and now looking for another one. Here comes Hurst, who runs over the ball. It goes to Boyce, to Moore. Moore clipping it forward to a head. And oh, it's a goal! Another goal for West Ham!
Alan Seeley's pair was enough. West Ham, a pleasure to watch. And now too, Matt Busby's second outstanding Manchester United team was reaching blossom time. Once more, as league champions, they set their sights on the European Cup in 1965-66. And in the quarter-finals, they ran into Benfica. United won the first leg at Old Trafford, but only by 3-2, a precarious lead to take to Portugal.
A tremendous night for Manchester United. Their finest hour, surely, and a credit to British football here in Benfica, in Lisbon tonight against Benfica. 4 times they've reached the European Cup final, twice they've won it, and now they've met their match here in this magnificent stadium, the Stadium of Light here in Lisbon. Goal kick to Benfica, quickly taken by Costa Pereira. And this, remember, is the basis of Portugal's World Cup side. It's not just a club side that Manchester United are beating here tonight, it is virtually the nucleus of Portugal's World Cup side. And here come Benfica again. Torres to Coluna, who's taken up an attacking role now in one last desperate attempt, presumably to make some impact on this Manchester United defence, but he won't do it like that. A bad pass going straight to the feet of Tony Dunn. Dunn, a short ball to Law. Law down on the touchline beneath us now with Dunn inside him, and in fact he finds a very good ball in the centre circle to Canelli. Now there's Canelli streaking now towards the penalty area again, trying to find Hurd, but in fact the Benfica defence were covering up well on that particular occasion, and it's Cruz who pushes the ball back to Costa Pereira. A long ball there by Costa Pereira. 4 Manchester United players going for it. Styles one of them, of course, and it's Styles snuffing out Eusebio again, setting the ball to Law, who slips up, but the ball goes into touch before a Benfica player can get to it. Simoes taking the throw in to Coluna. Coluna being challenged there by Bobby Charlton pushing the ball back to Shea Brennan, who hits the ball hard into the centre circle. Germano there, the general at the rear, trying to get things going, trying to get things moving, pushing a short ball out to his right, a long one there, finding Eusebio, but Eusebio tackled well, very well indeed again there by Craren. Pushed the ball into touch over on the far side. Throw into Benfica, someone trying a long one in the gloom on the far side there. There's Greg going out of his goal, punching brilliantly away there to save Manchester United on that occasion. A long one forward. Hurd now the only player up in an attacking position, but here's Law coming out to help him. Law taking that pass and taking it well. Hurd running into a beautiful position, and he's not offside. He's taking it towards the penalty area. Will he get a shot? And he does, but not enough power behind it. Costa Pereira goes down once more on his line. Quarter of an hour to go. 30 minutes of this second half gone. Manchester United still leading by 3-1. Brennan getting the better of a Benfica forward there. Short one to Law. Law to Craren. A little bit of arrogance again here in centre circle. Playing at half pace. Keeping the ball to themselves to Best over on the far side. Best to Canelli. Canelli coming forward again. Challenged there by Cavam. And a very good tackle by Cavam, but not quite good enough because Canelli stayed on his feet and then pushed a short one to Best. Back it comes to Canelli again. Back it goes to Best. This is how well United are playing. There's Best in position again. To Canelli over on the far side. Tony Dunn coming right up, but Dunn fractionally offside there. The linesman's flag going up again. Benfica now desperate, as indeed they must be, with something like 14 minutes left. 3-1 down in this match. United 2 goals up then, added to the one that they brought with them after the first leg in Old Trafford. 3 goals up with 14 minutes left to play. A magnificent night for Manchester United. You cannot repeat this often enough when you consider the scalps that are under Benfica's belt here. Spurs amongst them in 1962, Real Madrid last year by 5-1. There's Eusebio, but his shadow Styles is there again. And Styles happy enough to give away a corner there to save a dangerous little moment for Manchester United. As I was saying, Real Madrid came here last year. They were beaten 5-1 by Benfica. But Benfica have been well and truly humbled here tonight by Manchester United. They're getting a corner over on the far side now. Here it comes, the white ball glistening into the penalty area there. Simoy's going for it, trying a shot on the turn, just over the bar though, with Greg watching it all the way. Have no fears, Manchester. Greg watched that one. He saw it from the moment it left Simoy's boot and watched it go over the crossbar. Manchester United 3, Benfica 1. Greg to take the goal kick now. Manchester United composed and now poised surely to go into the semi-finals of the European Cup as Greg takes this goal kick high into the centre circle. Bobby Charlton now picking it up with Dunn outside him, Canelli outside him, and he releases it to Law, who's outside him. Law, a long one forward. There's Craren going for it. Can he get to it? A shot. And by goodness, he scored! Another goal to Manchester United. Scored by Craren. How appropriate that was. Craren, who's run himself into the earth here, both in attack and defence, taking that beautiful ball just inside the penalty area, slipping it past Costa Pereira, the final crushing blow for a silent crowd here at the Stadium of Light.
3 minutes left to play, and Manchester United leading by 4-1 from here into the semi-finals of the European Cup. Craren offside, I think, or he overran the ball, I think, so it's a goal kick which Benfica's fullback will take. Pereira still standing on his line, hands on hips, and here comes the ball from the goal kick, headed back by Folks to Charlton. Charlton down in front of us to Law. Now Manchester United can afford, I think, to walk this, although they're running every yard. And Charlton through, Charlton again, can he shoot? He dribbles past the goalkeeper almost, and it's there! Charlton, another fine goal indeed.
Surprisingly, they lost to Partizan of Belgrade in the semi-finals, though looking ahead, their moment was soon to come. 2 years later, in 1968, they beat Benfica, still redoubtable opponents, by 4-1 in the final at Wembley. A night of wonderful emotion, just 10 years after the Munich air disaster. Bobby Charlton, who figured in both, compares the Busby Babes, pre-Munich, and the side that Busby built afterwards.
They were right at the start of their careers in lots of cases, and some of them just coming to the peak of their career. Tommy Taylor, David Pegg, Johnny Berry, Roger Byrne, and young players like Duncan Edwards, who was really on the threshold of probably the greatest international career that any English player would ever have. He was unquestionably the most gifted all-round player that I've ever seen. And the mere fact that he was nearly an automatic choice for England when he was 17. Not a care in the world, never doubted his ability, never thought that he was anything other than the best. And people like that who suddenly nobody was going to see again. I mean, it was really a tragedy of all tragedies. I think the 1958 team before the accident was the strongest team that I've ever played with. I think definitely the strongest team and the most difficult to beat. At its peak, when your George Best and your Dennis Law were really on song, it was a pleasure, you know. I mean, it was a fantastic pleasure. But it was very fragile. We could win 5 one day, you know, and then lose 5 the next. No, the strongest team I ever played with, the strongest and the most difficult team, was the 1958 team.
Well, that was Bobby Charlton, and Dennis Law, never short of an opinion, had an interesting theory about his old teammate.
Bobby Charlton, of course, started off as outside left, an out-and-out outside left, and it was, I don't know whether it was Ramsey or Busby who played him in midfield, but with his tremendous speed off the mark, I felt that Bobby Charlton was wasted by playing in midfield. I thought he was far, far more dangerous for the opposition if he was on the wing, because apart from his tremendous space, his ball control, he had a great shot as well. And of course, this is why we scored so many goals, in particular from David Hurd, who also had a tremendous shot. And the keeper invariably didn't hold them, and therefore there was other players coming in like George Best and myself to pick up the crumbs. And I feel that Bobby Charlton could have done far, far better in the penalty area had he been playing on the wing. And I think the team would have scored a lot more goals.
The 1966 FA Cup final threatened to be overshadowed by the impending World Cup, to be held in England for the first time. But Everton and Sheffield Wednesday provided a match which, for drama and quality, was a little classic.
Gabriel now trying to slip it forward, but stopped by McCalliog. McCalliog to Quinn. Quinn forward trying to get Phantom away, but Wright and Everton covering well there. Wright slipping it round towards the corner flag, and then a long one forward to the head of Alex Young. Young trying to get Trebilco away. Trebilco, an overhead kick there, but that's headed away for Sheffield Wednesday by Jerry Young. Now down beneath us to Quinn. Quinn back to Mixon, his fullback. Mixon a long searching one forward, but he'll find no one, only LeBone. And there's LeBone, who rather idly lets the ball run out of touch. Into touch. A throw in now, almost opposite the Everton penalty area to Sheffield Wednesday. Throw in to Sheffield Wednesday, which Eustace will take. Eustace seems to have taken this role of flitting across the pitch in midfield. Forward now, a shot from forward, a shot, a goal! A goal for Sheffield Wednesday! Out of the blue! A goal by McCalliog!
David Ford put Wednesday 2 up early in the second half, and Wednesday looked home and dry. But a strong and squat Cornishman called Mike Trebilco, a late Everton selection, pulled one back in less than 60 seconds. And he equalised just over 10 minutes later.
Right now, sending Scott away, but Scott's got Mexon with him, and he's got Young there to support him. It's Young who puts the ball into touch for Sheffield Wednesday. A throw in to Everton, right down now by the corner flag on the far side, opposite the Sheffield Wednesday penalty area, taken by Alex Scott. Back it comes to his fullback, Tommy Wright, but that one's cut out quite easily by Quinn, who'd come back to help his defence. Quinn to Phantom for Sheffield Wednesday. Phantom moving the ball forward to Quinn down the far touchline. Quinn watched by Harvey, but he slips it to Phantom before Harvey can do anything about it. Phantom coming forward with McCalliog beside him. He slips it across the penalty area there where Ford can get a shot in there because it bounces to Harris, and Harris very coolly back to his goalkeeper West. West underarm to fullback Wright. No, it's Harvey who's gone right back to help the defence. A long one forward by Harvey, and a terrible mess there. And here's Temple streaking through. Is this the third one? A shot by Temple. A goal! A beautiful goal for Everton by Temple. 3-2. Certainly there's a tremendous amount of noise coming from behind that Everton goal now, as Everton sweeping to a 3-2 lead. After 57 minutes of this match, they were 2-0 down, and now with 15 minutes to go, they are 3-2 up. I doubt it for Wembley Cup final. Oh yes, the 1953 Cup final with Stanley Matthews, but certainly for a comeback This ranks with that. A magnificent comeback by Everton. No praise is too much for the way they fought back here this afternoon. A tremendous comeback, and now the onus is well and truly on Sheffield Wednesday. Poor Jerry Young, the left half for Sheffield Wednesday, who made such a hash of that one in midfield that left Temple streaking away to put Everton 3-2 in the lead. And we've got singing, we've got chanting, we've got cheering and everything else from behind that Everton goal now as Everton sweep away again. Alex Young through to Trebilco. Can he get a shot in? He can't because the whistle has gone. The whistle has gone.
And that's the way it ended, 3-2 to Everton. And so to the summer of 1966. England, the World Cup hosts, a distinction and a challenge for which the home of organised football had been preparing and plotting for nearly 6 years. Alf Ramsey, England's manager and a man of carefully defined principles and undentable will, predicted that his players would win the Jules Rimet Trophy. And many critics looked forward with relish to the moment when they could say he was wrong. And indeed, unconvincing displays at Wembley against Uruguay, Mexico and France, followed by the controversial dropping of Jimmy Greaves, England's leading scorer, for the inexperienced Geoff Hurst of West Ham, did little to inspire confidence. But England were through to the quarter-finals, and at Wembley once more, their opponents were Argentina, a high-octane side of talent and temper.
Here comes Bobby Moore now for England. England finding it very difficult indeed to make very much impression on this Argentinian defence, and certainly you can't make much impression on Rattin, who has just pulled Hurst down, and Mr. Kreitlein is having nothing to do with Rattin's protestations that it was in fact Hurst who was the guilty party, and the upshot of it all is it's a free kick to England. Quickly taken by Ray Wilson. Forward to Bobby Moore. Moore forward to Hunt, but Hunt is tripped there. Badly tripped there on the edge of the penalty area by Perfumo. And Hunt must have said something to Perfumo. I don't know whether he understands English or not, because he rounded on Hunt there. And for a moment I thought we were going to have another tricky little situation. But certainly it's going to be a tricky little situation here for Argentina, with a free kick right on their own penalty area to England. With 35 minutes of this quarter-final at Wembley gone. England 0, Argentina 0, and it looks as though Mr. Kreitlein, the West German referee, is having a pretty severe word with one or two of these Argentinian defenders. I can't see whether he's got a notebook out or not, I don't know. But now the Argentinians are lining up, all except one of them, who was no more than a yard off the ball, but Charlton shoots past the post. And indeed, and quite rightly so, Mr. Kreitlein, the referee, is now taking the name of Artemi, who was standing not 1 yard away from that ball and refusing to move when that free kick was taken. So several names have gone into this book. I'm rather losing track of them, and now he's having a word with Rattin, and I think he's ordering Rattin off. I believe he's ordering Rattin, the Argentinian captain, off the field. Well, this will be a bolt from the blue. Certainly a moment ago, Rattin charged Bobby Charlton and had his name taken. He clearly must have said something else, and now he's being ordered off the field, I believe. The crowd are cheering. There is utter confusion here. Clearly there must be language difficulties, but by the way Mr. Kreitlein, the referee, pointed to the touchline, there was no doubt in my mind that he was ordering Rattin off. But now what's happening? Another player's coming off. And Lorenzo, the Argentinian coach, is going on to try and sort it out. They're all coming off. I have never seen anything like this in a football match in my life. All the Argentinians are coming off the field, and there is no way of knowing what on earth is happening. The England players are standing there. Some of the Argentinians are walking back. Has he possibly abandoned the match? This is conceivable. Or is he just ordering Rattin off, and the Argentinians are saying, if he goes, we go? The crowd are as perplexed as everyone else. England players are standing on the pitch there with their arms on their hips, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4 Argentinian players already off the pitch, and 2 or 3 of them arguing vehemently there with the German referee, Mr. Kreitlein. But it looks very much to me as though someone has been sent off, and I would have thought it was Rattin. Rattin is making to walk back on the pitch again, and now Mr. Kreitlein, the referee, is saying, off you go. Good heavens, and now beneath me there are 3 or 4 Argentinian players dousing their heads in a bucket of water. this match is in grave danger, I fear, of getting completely out of hand. Slow hand clap from the crowd. The England players are standing in the middle there. Gordon Banks, I see, is urging Bobby Moore, the skipper, to go in and do something about it. But Moore, quite rightly, I'm sure, is saying, leave it to the referee. Relax. And now Mr. Kreitlein, this rather small, balding German referee, is trying to make some order out of utter chaos beneath us.
The hold-up lasted nearly 8 minutes, and when the game restarted, Argentina were down to 10 men. Mr. Rattin was absent, sent off by the West German referee Rudolf Kreitlein. Order prevailed, but only shakily.
It's Ball coming away now for England. Ball with Bobby Moore outside him. Oh, and Ball is tripped there outside the box there by Solari. This will be a free kick now to England. 15 minutes to go. Still Russia 2, Hungary 1 up there at Roker Park, and still England 0, Argentina 0 here as Bobby Moore takes this free kick to Ray Wilson, lofting it into the penalty area there, but no one can make anything of it, and it's the Argentinians coming away. Onega trying a long ball to try and get Mass going, and there's Artemi racing there. Or is it? No, it's Solari racing for it as hard as he can go, but Cohen is racing just that little bit harder, and Cohen deliberately pulled back by the Argentinian there. What is football all about? Deliberately pulling his arms as Cohen went past him, but it's a free kick, quickly taken by Cohen, back to Banks, onto the far side now to Bobby Moore. Quarter of an hour to go. Moore coming forward now to Martin Peters. Peters trying to trick his man, but he can't trick him because Gonzalez is a little too quick for him. Gonzalez gives away a corner. Ball wrestling the ball from his hands before it's taken back to Alan Clark.
A corner to England then. Ball taking the short one to Martin Peters. Peters trying to turn it inside, but only puts it straight to the boot of Gonzalez again, who turned it into touch. All right, hit an England player there, so this will be a throw-in which Ferreira will take. Look in to see whether he can throw it back to his keeper. No, he gets a free kick out of it. By some means or other, I can't quite understand what Mr. Kreitlein was thinking about just then, but it's a free kick to Argentina, which they take into touch on the England left. Thrown down by Ray Wilson to Ball. Back to Wilson. Wilson through to Peters now. Can Peters float this one across? He does. Up go the head to the header by Hurst, and it's there! Hurst, a great header!
Jeff Hurst vindicating Ramsey's judgment with the only goal of the match. And so the battle lines for the semi-finals were established. West Germany against the Soviet Union at Goodison Park, a poor game which the Germans won by 2-1, and England against Portugal at Wembley. Portugal a side with a brilliant attack, including Eusebio, the European Footballer of the Year.
As away come the Portuguese again, through Gracia, a long one forward, hoping to find Augusta, but Jack Charlton bends low to head that one away to Ray Wilson. Wilson inside to Styles, good organised defence here by England, to Ball. Ball inside to Bobby Moore. Moore there, he'll put it across to Cohen, he does. Cohen, and now here's Cohen, this Fulham fullback, going up the right touchline again. A long one forward for Hurst to chase. Will Hurst get past his man? He's got the power. Will he get it in? No, he's delayed. He pushes it back to Bobby Charlton. A shot by Charlton. A goal! A magnificent goal by Bobby Charlton. 2-0 to England. It really brings tears to your eyes to see this England side fighting and playing so well, so maligned by so many people in the months leading up to this World Cup, and now really just 10 minutes or so from surely their first appearance in the World Cup final. Portugal are not giving up though, and here's Gracia coming away inside to Simoes. You must never underestimate the fighting powers of this Portuguese side, but England 2-0, precious 2 goals in the lead as Simoes throws to go past Peters, but he can't get past Peters. Back to Wilson it comes, back to this hero, Bobby Charlton, scorer of both these England goals. And there's Charlton, another beautiful move by him, beating not one, not two, and then giving it, unfortunately, to Torres on the far side for Portugal. Bobby blotted his copybook there, we'll spare him that one. Out to Torres on the far side though. Torres putting the ball in, but there's Bobby Charlton redeeming himself by taking it on his chest, getting a roar of applause from this excited Wembley crowd as he pushes it downfield off the Jeff Hurst, off a Portuguese defender, then into touch inside the English half to be taken by Martin Peters. 9 minutes to go. The scoreboard says England 2, Portugal 0, and here's Alan Clark.
Thank you, Bryon. I'm going to say great England side, although they suffered a bit for the first 10 minutes of this second half. How well they've been playing tonight. in defence, in the forward line. But it's Portugal at the moment, with the ball, trying to move it down the middle. Augusto with the ball inside to Eusebio, but the ball's been bounced off him. Down to this wing to Simosh, who tries a long lob, across the face of the goal. Banks goes up ahead of there. Handball, penalty, taken down by Jackie Charlton. It beat Gordon Banks. This will be a penalty to Portugal, and surely Eusebio will take it. He scored 2 last Saturday against the Koreans. From the penalty spot, Jackie Charlton with Banks out of his goal there. Jackie decided the only thing to do was to hook it from underneath the bar, and here it comes. 8 minutes left to play. Eusebio having a word now with Kaluna. Gordon Banks astride on his line. Here comes Eusebio, and it's there.
But England stoically survived those last 8 painful minutes. They'd reached the final, and up in the stands was a lady from the northeast, much loved and respected, Cissy Charlton, mother of Jack and Bobby. She described her feelings as Bobby's second and spectacular goal hit the back of the net.
To tell you the truth, I had a pile of programmes that I was bringing for the bands at home. I had a pile of these coloured papers, you know, that they said. I had an orange drink here for half time. I had a box of chocolates I had been given to me off a man. A box of toffees another man had given me. I had to put all them down before I could clap. And it was really funny. But when I stood up, it was a marvellous sight to see the Portugal player shaking his hand. Something you don't see these days. It was really terrific.
One game, then, was all that stood between England and the championship of the world and the fulfilment of Ramsey's promise. What a day it was. Saturday, the 30th of July, 1966. The final of the 8th World Cup. England against West Germany. A side that was talented and battle-hardened. Wembley awash with colour and noise and optimism. The first real roar of an afternoon of sunshine and showers, though, was undoubtedly German. Helmut Haller gave West Germany an early lead. But just 6 minutes later, West Ham fashioned an equaliser. Bobby Moore to Jeff Hurst, a deft header, and it was 1-1. And it stayed that way until less than 15 minutes of normal time remained.
England are playing with so much more menace now. As Ball prepares to take this corner, as the Union Jacks are waving. There he goes with the corner. Jack Charlton up there with his header, but it comes through to Hurst. Will Hurst get a shot in? He does, but it cannons off another forward. This must be the goal. It's a goal by Peters. The goal for England. "33 minutes gone of the second half, and England 2-1 in the lead in this World Cup final. And Wembley is just a mass of waving Union Jacks. But it's Germany in possession on the edge of the England penalty area. The ball canning in off Nobby Stiles as Snellinger tries to put it in. Peters, the scorer for England. Back to Snellinger it comes, but the Germans are the most dangerous side in this competition. They never know when they're beaten. They're magnificent competitors. Someone must have been offside there. It's a free kick to England. The singing has begun at Wembley. England with 11 minutes left, leading by 2-1.
1.5 minutes on the watch left to play. England 2, Germany 1. The World Cup of 1966 almost in the hands of Bobby Moore, the skipper. But a minute to go. And the ball inside the England half, but Stiles this time. It's a free kick given against England again. The referee gives it against England. This will be a free kick to Germany. And despite the protest from the England players, I must admit they're not making it too firmly. Nobody wants to be sent off at this stage. All the players lining up now to form the wall. The referee pacing out the 10 yards. It's Emmerich to take it. Up goes the tall Schellinger into the penalty. Emmerich trying a first-time shot. Almost goes through a ruck. Held it there. And it's not there yet. It could be handball. No, the referee gives it. It's a goal. Faber for Germany has made it 2 each.
I wasn't waiting for the final whistle. I just thought when we scored the second goal and we were 2-1 in front, I couldn't see the Germans scoring, and I remember saying to Nobby Styles, we've won it, we've won it. We couldn't believe, we thought it was over then. And of course, when they scored the equaliser in the last minute of the ordinary time period, it wasn't a good goal. We thought that it hadn't been a foul in the first place from which the free kick was given. And the German lad said, well, that's football. And sure enough, that's what I thought. I thought, well, you're right, that's football. Let's get on with the next half hour,
England 2, West Germany 2 in this very even still World Cup final of 1966. A long kick from Tilkowski. Headed away by Jack Charlton down to Nobby Styles. Styles with a long ball through to Ball, and Ball will run for all he's worth after this one. He turns it in. Can Hurst get a shot in? There's a chance for Jeff Hurst, and he's hit the bar. It must be a goal. I would have thought that went in, but he's not given it. I thought that hit the bar and went in, Maurice Eddleston.
I'm not certain. Yes, it's given. It's given. England are in the lead. The referee, Mr. Deans, went across to the linesman. It certainly hit the underneath part of the bar, bounced down. It was a fine decision, but the linesman, who's in the best position to see, has said that the goal was in, it crossed the line. So Hurst has got his second goal for England, and with a few minutes to go to half-time in this extra period, England lead 3-2, and the hero of the hour for my money, the man that made the pass there, Alan Ball.
Yes, he had to have a say in it, didn't he, Maurice? But really, my feeling was that the Russian linesman on the far side was waving his flag as much as to say that it wasn't a goal. So we've had two remarkable decisions that have led to two very controversial goals here at Wembley.
Well, I was about the only one that didn't see it, because I hit the ball on the half-turn and fell down with my face completely away from the goal, and I didn't see where the ball had gone at all. But Roger Hunt, who was very near the 6-yard box at the time, said it was definitely in, and also Martin Peters, my clubmate. I kept looking at him and wondered what he was going to do. The referee went across to him and nobody knew what was going to happen. Then he raised his flag and sort of pointed to the middle, and then that's when I started to cheer.
1 minute left to play. England leading by 3-2. Come on, England. Hold on. It's a corner to Germany. Up goes Banks and punches away. Hunt back there, inside his own half, beats his man cleverly. Sends the ball up through the middle, but a bad one inside the centre circle. Here it comes back again. Puskas down to the centre half. Breasted down there by Bobby Moore. Moore parting with the ball up to Hunt. Hunt back to Bobby Moore. Moore now with the ball. Hunt's over there with him. 23 now. 20 seconds. And it's Hurst and Ball shouting for it on the right here. And there's people on the pitch at the moment. It's shoot! It's a goal by Hurst! Goal by Hurst, number 4. And the England players going down on the turf, hugging each other on their hands and knees. And there it is, number 4 to England. And the band's waiting there on the touchline. The bandmaster turns, and in a moment or so, we expect to get the national anthem here at Wembley. The players still talking amongst themselves, lining up. The photographers being pushed away by the officials here at Wembley. And here goes the cup upfield, and the crowd are shouting, Ramsey, 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 the England manager. Listen to this. And Bobby Moore just going over to Alf Ramsey, giving him the cup and dragging him into the photographers, into the pictures.